Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. The calendar has now turned over to August, and while we did just receive an insane amount of coverage for Marvel Spider-Man 2, including the official story trailer for the game, there is the potential for even more gameplay as we close out the summer. And what we're talking about is, of course, the pre-order bonus and digital deluxe edition suits. And today we are going to break all of that down, what we know, and the potential for perhaps a gameplay trailer or trailers showcasing both of these items. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always. And the way to do that, just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It'll notify you every single time that we upload. Now, with all of that out of the way, Andreas, let's speculate about some suits.
Let's do this, guys.
All right, Andreas, we just got the official story trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2. We got a whole panel about the symbiote suit dedicated to it. What could we possibly expect to still see just coming off of this event, and why should we expect to see something?
That is a great question. First of all, I again want to echo the sentiment that you expressed earlier in your intro, Nick, which is that we're very grateful for all the stuff that we have received to date. We do really appreciate all of the marketing and transparency that we have received from Insomniac. And that said, a lot of people have noticed that the marketing cycle leading up to Spider-Man 2 is very similar to the marketing cycles leading up to Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. And if you are paying attention to those marketing cycles, you will know that those games also came with pre-order incentives by way of suits for both Peter Parker and Miles Morales. And along with those suits, we also received trailers showcasing those suits in-game so that we all know exactly what we are spending our money on. Insomniac went that extra mile just to cut together maybe a 30-second to 1-minute showcase of the suits that they were selling for pre-order or digital deluxe edition incentives in those games. And so a lot of people are wondering, is that going to happen again? And if you will recall, a couple of months ago, some people actually tweeted at Insomniac asking if we can expect similar gameplay showcases of the pre-order suits and the digital deluxe edition suits for Spider-Man 2. And if you will recall, Insomniac did respond to those tweets, right?
Yes, they sure did. This was all the way back on June 17th where both of these tweets come from, where one person asks, will you also show the digital deluxe edition suits? And Insomniac says, yeah, that's on the to-do list. And then there was another one where it said, could we get a pre-order trailer to show the new suits like the first game and Miles Morales? And Insomniac said, it's something on our list to try and do this summer. So the big question that I'm sure many of you are wondering is, why are we making this video now? And it's for a couple of good reasons. Reason number one, the calendar, like we said, has rolled over to August. We're getting close to that October window, and we're getting near the end of summer. There's only a couple months left of summer. Officially, Insomniac would have until the end of September if you wanted to look at how summer really goes, but we are starting to wind down on summer. So if this is something that Insomniac still wanted to try and accomplish, we're closing in on the end of that time period that they were targeting to have it. Also, there are some showcases, there are some game events that are happening this month where it could potentially show up, and there are some Sony rumors like always.
Yes, there are. And I think if you're asking the question, when do we think between now and October 20th we would get a showcase of any kind, there are really two main targets for any sort of Spider-Man 2 showcase. The first of which being Gamescom. If you guys know, Gamescom is a great place, a great venue for any studio to be showcasing their new content, especially leading up to a release in October for this game. The hype is through the roof for Spider-Man 2, and showing up to Gamescom would be a great way just to throw your hat in the ring. Insomniac's got great work going on. Why not show it off every chance they can? However, there is a little problem with Gamescom, and that is by way of a Sony announcement recently that Sony will not be appearing at Gamescom, and that kind of raises this question of, does this preclude all SIE studios from showing up to Gamescom and showing off their games, or does it simply mean that there is no dedicated Sony panel at Gamescom? And I think we all are a bit unsure on that, but if I had to guess, I think Sony's expectation for Gamescom is that Sony at large will not be having a event or Sony panel at Gamescom, but I would not be surprised to see one SIE studio or maybe a few SIE studios show off some content at Gamescom, including potentially Insomniac Games.
Yeah, it's definitely not something I would expect, just because seeing that Insomniac is one of those first-party studios. If Sony themselves is not making their presence felt at Gamescom, I feel like they would probably hold out their studios from going there. And I guess you could ask, why would Sony choose to not attend Gamescom here in August? It's such a major game event every single year. Well, one potential reason is there are rumors and smoke circulating of a potential Sony showcase, a second showcase happening at some point in August, or what the rumors are indicating. There is no confirmation from Sony. We don't really even know how credible some of these rumors going around are. And some of these rumors also indicate that if there is a Sony showcase, it would be more hardware featured in nature. However, if it does turn out to be the case that a Sony showcase happens this month, that would be another great location for Insomniac to reveal some of these gameplay trailers.
You know what, Nick? I really love this second showcase conversation. There was a recent showcase for Sony, and a lot of people were left underwhelmed by that showcase, and a few people in particular, a few insiders, I'm naming one in particular here, Colin Moriarty, who said that this was by design, that Sony wanted to get on the board earlier on this summer, but they had a follow-up plan for a second showcase sometime in late summer to early fall. And if that is the case, and if Colin Moriarty's tip is true, which his tip initially revealed that they were also going to be divulging information about pre-announced games, not that we would really be getting new game announcements, but that previously announced games would be getting more information. That was his smoke, and he's been somewhat reliable, a bit hit or miss. One of his claims to fame is that he adequately called the new name of Assassin's Creed Mirage before it was officially unveiled, so he does have legitimate contacts in the gaming industry, but his tip, if true, would fall in line with this idea that Spider-Man 2 could show up at an upcoming second Sony showcase because it is a previously announced game. And if Sony is going to have a showcase, Nick, I would be hard-pressed to believe that they would have that showcase and not show off Spider-Man 2, especially with its placement and release date coming hot off the heels of that second showcase. If it were to happen, I absolutely would expect Sony to at least mention Spider-Man 2 at that conference. If they're having the venue, why not promote their game?
Yeah, I totally agree. And just to put some other ideas out there for what I believe to probably be more realistic scenarios where something like this could happen, they could always do a state of play focused around Marvel Spider-Man 2. We've seen them do that before in the past with their exclusives. Ratchet and Clank got one. Horizon Forbidden West got its own state of play. I could see Insomniac getting their own state of play. We are kind of running out of time for a dedicated state of play for this game. It is August already. Game drops at the end of October. That is something that would have to happen very soon. I could see them waiting until September if, for example, Game Informer does get the cover story for Marvel Spider-Man 2. I think we were all kind of shocked that Marvel Spider-Man 2 was not the cover story for August. However, there has been some smoke before that at some point this game would feature in a Game Informer, focused cover story article. I could see them getting the IGN first coverage for September or October. There's still a lot of potential for this game to get very extensive coverage over the next few months from some of these media outlets, which would give Insomniac the platform to release trailers for these suits that we've all been waiting for and that they have indicated they wanted to do. And probably the most realistic scenario here, if this is something that Insomniac does choose to do, instead of waiting for one of these events to happen or not happen or whatever is going to happen this month, they could always just randomly on a Monday or a Tuesday morning upload it to YouTube, upload it to their social media accounts, just, a surprise marketing push for these suits. I think none of us would complain about that. I would love to see that happen. That is probably the most likely scenario when it comes to this, if it does happen. Now, in regards to what we should expect from these potential gameplay trailers or gameplay showcasing these suits, up to this point, all we've seen from the digital deluxe edition and the pre-order bonuses are just, for the pre-order bonus, we have the full suit. For the digital deluxe edition, we have from just the torso up, not even that, from upper chest up. We really don't have any idea what these suits are going to look like, and it would be smart of Insomniac in terms of marketing to show off these entire suits, especially if you expect people to buy these or you want people to buy these. Probably in your best interest to showcase these. So I would expect gameplay or a trailer very similar to what we got for, say, the Velocity suit reveal for Marvel Spider-Man PS4 back in the day. Just quick compilation, cut footage, showcasing all of these various suits, 10 or 12 of these suits. I think that is probably what to expect. I don't think we will see any legitimate Marvel Spider-Man 2 gameplay, so to speak, until that final launch trailer in, late October.
I agree with you, Nick. I think we are in the home stretch, guys, so we are very close to release now. We're just about 2 months out, and to kind of summarize and put a bow on this, there are plenty of opportunities left between now and release for us to receive something from Insomniac. We have Gamescom in late August. That's a potential runway. We have, the fact that in the past, Insomniac released a Velocity suit reveal trailer about 50 days out of release, and 50 days out from release for Spider-Man 2 will be the end of August. So the end of August looks like a time frame where we might receive something on these suits. We also have this potential of a Sony Showcase where we could receive something, and like you said, Nick, there could just be that blind shadow drop. There could be an IGN first, there could be a Game Informer cover, there could be a Sony spotlight. There's so many different ways that we could get Spider-Man 2 footage. And one idea that I was kind of mulling over recently is for these digital deluxe edition suits, I would love a highlight trailer of the artists that worked on these suits weaved into the suits that they actually made. I think this would be a great way to actually showcase the artists and all of the talent that was poured into these really cool looking suits, and also show off these suits in game, which everyone is waiting to see. And I'd like to see this before I put my money down on the suits themselves. It's just a great way to see what you're buying before you actually spend the money. So I'm really looking forward to something like that. Just food for thought. And that said, guys, let us know what you are all looking forward to. Is there anything else that you would like to see out of Insomniac before you do pull the trigger on buying Spider-Man 2, or are you already convinced? Honestly, Nick and I are already convinced, but let us know what you would like to see leading into release and when you would like to see it. More importantly, when do you think we would be seeing all of this stuff? Is it Gamescom or somewhere else? Love to hear from all of you in the comments down below. But with that, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.